Imagine this scene because I bet you've done it hundreds of times. You open the refrigerator, take out the container with last night's leftovers, maybe rice, vegetables, or a nutritious chicken stew. Without thinking, you put it in the microwave, press the button, and wait for that familiar beep. You think you're saving time. You think you're eating healthy. Stop right now. What if I told you that this seemingly harmless act is actually turning your lunch into a feast of toxins? The harsh truth we doctors want you to know is this. Some foods, even those called superfoods, when reheated incorrectly, don't just lose their nutrients. They undergo a terrifying chemical transformation. Their molecular structure is destroyed, converting healthy nutrients into toxic compounds, into silent killers that stealthily attack your cells. We're talking about increased cancer risk. We're talking about serious digestive damage. And most alarming of all, the latest science has found a connection between these toxins and brain deterioration, leading to dementia and memory loss. Hello, I'm Dr. Brad Westwood. Today in this video, I'm going to unmask 5 common foods that you absolutely, I repeat, absolutely should never reheat. You'll be surprised, even shocked, to see that foods you always believed were healthy top this blacklist. But listen to me carefully. I'm not here to sow unfounded fear. I'm here to give you the power of knowledge. Before we dive in, if you want to protect your family's health, hit subscribe right now. It helps me reach more people who need this information. Now let's get started. If you're ready to learn which 5 foods are dangerous when reheated, write reheat in the comments right now. Food 1. Chicken turns toxic. Let's start with food number 1. This is the biggest shock for those who love the gym and healthy eating: chicken. Chicken has always been the good guy of the nutrition world: lean, low in fat, rich in protein. We tend to have the habit of cooking a large amount of chicken breast on Sunday to eat throughout the week. Sounds smart and saves time, right? But I'm here to warn you. Reheating chicken, especially in the microwave, is like lighting an inflammation bomb inside your body. Why? Let's look at the molecular level. When you cook chicken the first time, the protein chains transform to become softer and easier to digest. Perfect. But when you take that piece of chicken from the refrigerator and attack it with high temperatures a second time, disaster occurs: double denaturation. The protein structures change completely. They shrink, twist, and become hard as stone. That's why reheated chicken usually ends up dry and rubbery. That texture change doesn't just ruin the flavor, it's a sign that the food's chemistry has changed. And here's the big problem for people over 50. As we age, our digestive system is no longer the stone grinder it was at 20. Gastric acid decreases. There are fewer enzymes. When you introduce these rubber-like hard proteins into your stomach, your digestive system is forced to work overtime. You'll feel bloated, heavy, but that's just the surface. What's really dangerous is deep inside: inflammation. When the body struggles to break down these deformed proteins, it activates the immune system. The immune system perceives these difficult-to-digest compounds as invaders and responds by generating low-grade inflammation. You don't have fever, you don't feel immediate pain, but that silent fire spreads throughout the body. And remember my words: inflammation is the origin of all evils. It doesn't just damage joints or heart. The most recent medical research has shown a direct relationship between intestinal inflammation and brain deterioration. That's the path to brain fog, memory deterioration, and most feared, Alzheimer's and dementia. Imagine this scenario. Tuesday noon, in a hurry, you throw chicken in the microwave, eat, and by afternoon you feel a bit tired. You think it's age? No, it's your lunch. You're forcing your body to run a marathon to digest a meal that should give you energy. You're wearing down your immune system and attacking your own nervous system. When you were young, you could get away with this habit, but now your body deserves better treatment. It has served you your whole life. Don't load more weight on its shoulders. So what's the solution? Very simple. Eat chicken cold. Boiled or roasted and cooled chicken is actually delicious. Shred it, mix it in a salad, put it in a sandwich, or pair it with raw vegetables. By eating it cold, the protein structure remains stable and easy to digest. You get nutrients without the inflammatory side effect. Don't reheat it. It's a small change but reduces enormous pressure on the gut and protects your brain clarity. If you're understanding why reheating chicken is dangerous, write chicken in the comments. Food 2. Spinach becomes poison. We continue the list with a real shock. The second food and also the most common mistake I see in almost every family kitchen: spinach. Listen to me clearly. Spinach is a superfood. It's the queen of leafy greens, full of iron, vitamins, and antioxidants. But it has a dark and terrifying side few tell you about. If you reheat spinach, especially if you put it in the microwave at maximum power for 2 minutes, you're not just heating food, you're performing a dangerous chemical experiment on your plate. The problem is in basic chemistry. In its natural state, spinach contains a large amount of nitrates. Nitrates by themselves aren't bad. In fact, they're excellent. When consumed fresh or cooked for the first time, the body transforms nitrates into nitric oxide, which helps dilate blood vessels, lower blood pressure, and protect the cardiovascular system. That's why we love spinach. However, magic turns into curse when heat intervenes a second time and storage time. When you leave spinach overnight in the refrigerator and then reheat it, a degradation process begins. Healthy nitrates break down and transform into nitrites. And here's when everything becomes serious. When these nitrites enter the body under the effect of heat and the stomach's acidic environment, they transform into nitrosamines. Remember this name well, nitrosamines. This isn't nutrition. It's a carcinogenic substance confirmed by science. In laboratories, nitrosamines have been directly linked to digestive tract cancer and, extremely importantly, nerve cell damage. Imagine this scenario because I know you've done it. Sunday night, you cook a big pot of spinach soup intending to eat healthy all week. You feel proud of yourself. Monday noon, you serve a bowl of soup from the refrigerator and put it in the microwave to heat. You think you're consuming vitamins? Wrong. You're introducing into your body a cocktail full of compounds whose structure has been altered. The body isn't designed to process this level of toxins repeatedly. This is especially dangerous if you've already passed 50. Why? Because as we age, the body's filters, liver, and kidneys are no longer as efficient as at 20. Our cells become more sensitive, more fragile to chemical attack. A small amount of nitrosamines may not knock you down immediately at 30, but at 60, it's like dropping acid drops on a taut rope. It erodes tissue repair capacity and directly attacks brain function. This is the compound interest effect of toxins. You don't get sick after a single meal, but if this habit repeats week after week, month after month, that silent accumulation leads to irreversible consequences: chronic inflammation, drastic increase in cancer risk, and memory deterioration without apparent cause. I'm not saying this to scare you to the point you don't dare eat vegetables. I'm saying it so you take control of your kitchen. Knowledge is power. Don't let lack of information turn healthy food into poison. So what's the solution? It's so simple you can apply it today. If spinach is on the menu, follow the one-time rule. Cook only what's necessary and consume it in that same meal. Leftovers, eat it cold. Don't put it in the microwave. Mix it in a salad. Consume it as an appetizer, but never apply heat a second time. Your body, your brain, and yourself 10 years from now will silently thank you for this small change. Food 3. Eggs become toxic. We move to food number 3. This is the king of any family kitchen. Eggs. Scrambled, fried, boiled. They're cheap, quick, and a golden source of protein. But if you have the habit of reheating leftover breakfast eggs to eat at lunch, thinking you're saving, you need to stop immediately. You're not saving. You're unknowingly converting a nutritious superfood into a biological burden for your body. Why? The secret is in protein structure. When you cook eggs for the first time, proteins go through a wonderful process called denaturation. Protein chains open and reorganize so your body can absorb and digest them easily. That's nutrition. But when those already cooked proteins are attacked by high temperatures a second time, especially by the chaotic waves of the microwave, their structure breaks and twists into strange shapes your stomach can't recognize. Instead of receiving nutrients, your digestive system has to struggle to process these strange compounds. The result: bloating, indigestion, and most dangerous, an increase in toxins causing inflammation. Special warning for people over 50. As we age, the digestive system is no longer a war tank like at 20. Digestive enzymes decrease. Intestinal mucosa becomes more fragile. Habitually consuming denatured proteins from reheated eggs is like throwing sand into a car engine. It causes unnecessary wear and activates chronic inflammation, the number one enemy of brain and blood vessels. This isn't to instill fear. This is preventive science. So what's the solution? Should you give up eggs? Absolutely not. Fresh eggs remain one of the best foods for the brain. My vital rule is very simple. Eat them fresh. Enjoy eggs right when they come out of the pan. That's when they're tastiest and most nutritious. Eat them cold. If you boil eggs in advance, eat them cold. Slice them for a salad. Put them in a sandwich. Don't try to reheat them. Cold, hard-boiled egg protein is still safe, but reheated egg protein is a problem. Remember, small decisions in the kitchen, what you reheat and what you eat cold, are the bricks that build the wall protecting your health. Don't let a reheated egg tear down that effort. If you're understanding why eggs should never be reheated, write eggs in the comments. Food 4. Potatoes grow bacteria. We move to the 4th food. This is a perfect imposter. It seems harmless. It conveys a comforting feeling and appears in almost every family meal. Potatoes. Whether mashed, baked, or stewed, we all love them. But if you have the habit of reheating leftover potatoes from the night before, you're playing a dangerous bet with your health. The secret is in temperature and time. When you cook potatoes the first time, everything is perfect. The starch swells, it's soft and easy to digest. But when it cools, a restructuring process begins. The starch recrystallizes and becomes harder. Wait, this alone isn't disaster yet. But here's when the invisible killer appears. If you wrap a still warm potato in aluminum foil and let it cool slowly at room temperature, you're unknowingly building a nuclear shelter for bacteria. That closed, humid environment, rich in starch, is paradise for an extremely dangerous bacteria called Clostridium botulinum This bacteria thrives in oxygen-free environments, and most terrifying, the microwave doesn't kill it. Microwaves heat food unevenly and leave cold spots where bacteria survive and keep multiplying. When you eat that reheated potato, you're not just ingesting starch. You're introducing into your body nerve toxins and bacterial spores. Why is this catastrophic for people over 50? Listen carefully, because this is a relationship few doctors talk about: the gut-brain axis. As we age, gastric acid decreases and the intestinal immune system weakens. We no longer have the same capacity to eliminate foreign bacteria as at 20. When toxins from reheated potatoes enter the intestine, they cause inflammation. And remember my golden rule: the fire burning in the gut burns the brain. Modern science has found shocking evidence linking gut microbiota disruption with neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. You think you're just bloated? No. You're creating an inflammatory storm directly attacking your memory and mental clarity. It's too high a price for a leftover potato. Let me be even more specific about what happens. When Clostridium botulinum grows in that warm, oxygen-free environment inside aluminum foil, it produces botulinum toxin, one of the most potent neurotoxins known to science. Even small amounts can cause muscle weakness, blurred vision, difficulty swallowing, and in severe cases, respiratory paralysis. For someone over 60, whose immune system is already compromised, the risk multiplies. Your body simply doesn't have the same defense mechanisms it had decades ago. Every time you reheat that potato, you're rolling the dice. Sometimes you'll be fine, but one day the bacterial load might be high enough to cause serious problems. And here's what most people don't realize: the symptoms don't always appear immediately. You might eat contaminated potato on Monday and feel fine until Wednesday or Thursday, when suddenly you experience unexplained fatigue, digestive upset, or neurological symptoms that doctors struggle to diagnose because you don't connect them to that innocent leftover potato from days ago. So what's the safe strategy? I'm not telling you to give up your favorite potato dish, but you must treat it with intelligence, not habit. Golden rule: try to eat them immediately after cooking. Fresh is always king. Smart storage: if storing leftovers is mandatory, don't use aluminum foil. Let the potato cool quickly and store immediately in an airtight container in the refrigerator. Don't leave it resting peacefully on the kitchen table. The faster you get it from cooking heat to refrigerator cold, the less time bacteria have to multiply. Reheat correctly. Stay away from the microwave. Reheat on stove, in oven, or in a pan where high, even heat can eliminate harmful agents. You want internal temperature to reach at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the entire potato, not just in spots. When in doubt, throw it away. Your brain's health is worth more than a few dollars saved on food. If a potato has been sitting out too long, if you're not sure how it was stored, if it smells even slightly off, don't risk it. Don't let a small kitchen habit become the enemy, stealing the clarity of your old age. Protect your gut, and the gut will protect your brain. If you're understanding the aluminum foil danger with potatoes, write potatoes in the comments. Food 5. Mushrooms oxidize. We arrive at the final name. This is a true two-face in the culinary world. Mushrooms. Don't misunderstand me. I love mushrooms. Their characteristic earthy flavor, their intense texture, and their richness in antioxidants and fiber that strengthens the immune system. When consumed fresh or cooked for the first time, they're a tonic. But mushrooms are the most sensitive food on the planet when it comes to temperature. The truth is this: mushrooms aren't like other vegetables. Structurally, they're much more complex, with special enzymes and proteins. When you cook mushrooms, you break those protein bonds. Fine. But when you reheat them, especially under the thermal torture of the microwave, you cause total collapse of their chemical structure. Proteins fragment into deformed compounds your stomach can't recognize. The result? First, intestinal protest, gas, abdominal distension, feeling of heaviness and tiredness after eating. In older people, when the quantity of digestive enzymes has already decreased naturally, processing reheated mushrooms is like forcing an old machine to crush rocks. But the real danger is deeper: oxidation. Proteins and fats of reheated mushrooms oxidize intensely, generating free radicals. This is the number one enemy of aging. They cause oxidative stress. Imagine your cells rusting from inside. This state ignites chronic inflammation and directly attacks the brain, accelerating memory deterioration and cognitive capacity. Remember the last time you reheated mushroom soup or a mushroom sauté from the day before? Did you notice? The flavor becomes bland, the texture strangely hard and rubbery. That's not just a culinary problem. It's a biological alarm. That change in flavor and texture is proof that the food's internal chemistry has transformed into something no longer compatible with your body. Here's what happens at the cellular level that most people never learn. Mushrooms contain high levels of ergothioneine, a unique antioxidant that protects cells from oxidative damage when consumed fresh. But when exposed to repeated heating, especially the uneven heating of microwaves, ergothioneine breaks down and paradoxically transforms into pro-oxidant compounds. Instead of protecting your cells, these degraded compounds actually promote cellular damage. For someone over 50, this is particularly devastating because your cells are already under increased oxidative stress from normal aging. Your mitochondria, the power plants of your cells, are producing more free radicals and have less capacity to neutralize them. When you add pro-oxidant compounds from reheated mushrooms to this equation, you're essentially pouring gasoline on a smoldering fire. The cumulative effect over months and years contributes to accelerated aging, increased inflammation, and yes, cognitive decline. My advice: treat mushrooms like a capricious diva. Cook only what's necessary and consume in one sitting. If leftover, eat it cold or accept throwing it away. Don't lament it. By eliminating these subtle sources of pressure from your diet, you give your body the opportunity to feel lighter, with clearer mind and more energy. Sometimes health doesn't come from what we add, but from what we know to stop doing. Think of it this way: every time you choose not to reheat mushrooms, you're making a deposit in your brain health bank account. These deposits compound over time, just like financial investments. But the returns are measured in mental clarity, sharp memory, and quality of life in your later years. If you're understanding why mushrooms should never be reheated, write mushrooms in the comments. Protect your brain starting today. Those are the 5 foods. They're 5 small habits. But changing them can be the biggest turning point for your health in the next decade. Before closing this video, I want you to stop a minute and truly reflect. We just talked about 5 foods, but we're actually talking about something much bigger: your power of control. Listen to me clearly. The mistakes you make reheating food after 60 aren't a life sentence. They're not something you must accept as an inevitable part of aging. Not at all. It's a distress signal from the body, and you fully have the power to change it. The biggest mistake is depending on quick fixes or temporary chemical solutions. Those are just band-aids covering the wound. The real key is giving your body the correct biological tools to function smoothly, just as nature designed. And these 5 simple rules are precisely that key. So what surprised you most today? Maybe you've eaten reheated chicken your whole life without realizing it's creating inflammation. Or perhaps you doubted spinach could be dangerous, but now you're ready to follow the one-time cooking rule. Whatever it is, don't let this knowledge sit still in your mind. Convert it to action at your next meal. This video isn't just to entertain, it's the push you need to say goodbye to inflammation and brain fog. And this is your mission. I want to hear your voice right now. Go down to the comments section and write exactly this word. Never. Why never? Because you'll never reheat these 5 foods again. Write it as a commitment to yourself, and also tell me which food shocked you most. I read all comments. Your stories of change are the greatest source of energy that drives my team and me to continue this mission every day. And if this video brought you value, don't keep it to yourself. Press like, subscribe, and share it with friends and family, people also suffering this problem silently. A single share button can bring relief to someone's life. Thank you for trusting and joining me. I'm Dr. Brad Westwood, and stay sharp.